Hello and welcome back to A Life in Pictures.
I think it's just called Life in Pictures.
It could be Our Life in Pictures. It could be The Life in Pictures.
It can be anything you want it to be.
Anything you want it to be, because the sky is the limit, folks.
And now we're back with a new episode. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. So we're trying to get back in the swing of things.
We're very excited to welcome back our official guest star, Colin. Say hi, Colin.
Hello.
Colin likes to watch movies like
Yep.
his parents. So today we're going to talk about a movie that is currently in the theaters and has been for a little while. But we have seen this movie and really enjoyed it. In fact, Travis has seen this movie twice, once with me, once with Colin. And you want to tell us what the movie is?
Yes, the movie we're talking about today is Project Hail Mary, which came out back in March, which I guess was last month, but is almost going to be 2 months ago in a few days here.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you that don't know anything about this movie, which you would probably be sleeping under a rock.
What do we say about that if you don't know?
If you don't know, well then you better pause this and find out.
Spoiler alerts. We're going to spoil everything. We're talking about this movie as if you've already seen it. So if you haven't already seen it and you don't want to know what happens, then you need to stop right here and go see the movie. And if you do want to know what happens and you don't care about it being spoiled, then keep on listening. But fair warning, we're talking about it as if you've seen it already.
So, Project Hail Mary. A Hail Mary is a term that is used often in sports when it's just like a last-ditch effort to try and win the game, right? Like you're just putting it all on the line. You are trying to make the win, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good title for this because
It's a very fitting title.
our friend Ryan Gosling, not Ryan Reynolds. Travis thinks that it's Ryan Reynolds and that they're one and the same.
Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds are characters that
No.
are played by an actor named George.
Sir, they are
Just so,
not.
That
just
is
so you
not
all know.
true.
Hollywood doesn't want you to know this, but I have some inside information, and I'm not supposed to tell you this, but that's what it is. I mean,
Incorrect.
if you think about it, it's easy to tell.
Only one of those Ryans was on the Mickey Mouse Club, and it wasn't Reynolds.
Maybe it was George the whole time.
It was Ryan
No, it was
Gosling.
actually me.
He was on the Mickey Mouse Club during its greatest run with Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, JC Chazé, Carrie Russell, Justin Timberlake,
More wrong.
and who else? There must have been more people. I don't know. But everybody that was ever important.
Did you say Christina Aguilera?
I did.
I don't know.
Everybody that was important that came from the Mickey Mouse Club was in that era, including Mr. Ryan Gosling. And I think he's an Oscar winner, isn't he?
Yeah.
He won for Barbie, didn't he? Did he win one for Barbie?
I thought it
Or
was
he got
Fall Guy.
nominated?
I thought he won it for Fall Guy.
Fall Guys? What? He didn't win an Oscar for
thought-
Fall
I
Guys,
thought-
did he?
No, nobody
No.
gets an Oscar for Fall Guy. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he's an Oscar nominee, if not an Oscar winner, and I don't think that Ryan Reynolds can say the same. Maybe I'm wrong. He's gonna Google. We're gonna find out.
All right, he won Best Supporting Actor in 2024, Best Actor in 2017 and 2007. So, Half Nelson 2007, La La Land in 2017. It was Barbie 2024.
Yeah.
So, Best Supporting Actor he won
Yes.
for Barbie.
So
Okay.
there you go. Oscar winner, Academy Award winner, Ryan Gosling, not Ryan Reynolds.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
Do not confuse the two. One plays Deadpool. One is an Oscar winner.
They're the same guy.
They're actually not,
Not the
because
same
Ryan
guy.
Gosling is married to Ava Mendes.
Eva. Her name's
Ava.
Eva Mendes, right?
Ava.
Maybe she's in on the conspiracy too.
I'm pretty sure it's Ava. Also, Ryan Reynolds is married to Blake Lively, and that's a train wreck and a half for another show.
Yeah, because she's friends with Taylor Swift, so what do you expect? Oh.
Whatever. Anyway, so there weren't a lot of people in this movie for very long. Most of this movie took place in space because Ryan Gosling had to save the world. And what do you know? He plays a teacher who has to save the world. I mean, could we be more spot on?
There you go.
Teachers would never be that cool.
I mean, he is pretty cool.
No, but I mean like real teachers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you had to rely on a profession to save the world, teachers might be a pretty good choice.
Why wouldn't you just choose like a scientist or something?
He was a scientist.
No, I get that,
Keep
but
up.
I mean like I'm saying like strictly teachers wouldn't be good.
Okay.
All right, so for those of you who are not familiar with this movie, basically the plot of this movie is that Earth is about to go away. It's about the sun is about to go away, actually.
The sun is dying.
The sun is dying. There is a new thing that they've discovered called astrophage, which eats the sun. And obviously that's a big problem for Earth because Earth relies on the sun. And so they are gathering the world's most brilliant minds to try to find an answer to this problem. And they land on Ryland Grace, who is Ryan Gosling's, not Ryan Reynolds' character in this movie, to go do something about it. So he becomes kind of one of the authorities on astrophage, and they have another team ready to go up on a suicide mission, basically, to go and save the sun. And it's called Project Hail Mary because it's Earth's last hope kind of thing.
Yeah, the reason it's a suicide mission is because they have enough fuel to get into space and where they need to go, but they don't have enough fuel to get back.
Yeah. And so originally he wasn't supposed to be part of the crew, but then there was an accident and two of the crew die, and so he has to take their place. And so the movie takes place where he kind of wakes up in space. He doesn't know where he is or why he's there, and then he kind of starts to remember and figure it out. And then he tries to figure out what to do about this astrophage, which actually astrophage is also what they use to power the ship. He makes contact with an alien on another ship, who turns out that alien's planet is having the same issue that Earth is. And so that alien was on the same type of mission to go figure out what to do about astrophage. And, at first it's kind of awkward. They obviously don't know each other. They're from two different planets. They can't communicate. So they devise this system of communication, and they become friends, and they realize they have the same goal, and they help each other out. And it's kind of a movie about friendship and bonding and saving the world and science and space travel and all kinds of stuff. It's really good. So that's kind of the synopsis. The budget for this movie.
It's a big baller budget.
It is
$240 million.
$48 million.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I can't see without my glasses.
And to date, it has made $305 million in the USA and $614 million worldwide, which is a ridiculous amount of money. Amazon and MGM made this movie. So
they got back what they put into it for
Amazon's still not hurting for money.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention at home. So yeah, worked out pretty well for them. You can go see it now. It's still in the theaters. I don't know if they have a release date yet for when you can watch it at home, but it is in the theater, and you can go see it with Regal Unlimited or whatever subscription plan your local theater has. Most of them have one now. I would recommend getting it for whatever theater you go to. if you like to watch movies a lot, it's usually a little more economical to do it that way than to buy a ticket each time. But if you maybe don't go to a lot of movies, it might make more sense to just pay as you go. For us, we see a lot of movies, so we got the unlimited pass.
Mm-hmm. I will say one of the things that was interesting to me, because I actually went into this movie thinking it was going to be boring. I know we saw The Martian, which is another movie based off an Andy Weir novel, and it wasn't a bad movie. But again, it was a similar concept of this guy who's all by himself in space. The Martian, did I say that?
Yes.
It's got Matt Damon in it.
Matt
Damon. No Ben Affleck, though, just Matt.
That was a reference to Team America.
And he's by himself for this movie. And it's just like, it just feels like very drawn out and slow and painful.
Wrong.
Yes.
Wrong.
Oh, you're telling me I'm wrong? I'm not.
Yeah, I
an
am
opinion
telling
is
you
not
you're
wrong. It's just an opinion.
That opinion is wrong.
Okay. Well, you can like it. This is what I'm saying I felt like. And going into this movie, that's kind of what I expected. Except this movie did a really good job of interleaving like the past with the present. So even though he was alone for a good portion of the movie, or he was with the alien who was affectionately called Rocky because he was looked like a rock spider. That's a term that I invented, a rock spider.
Rock spider.
But that's what he looked like. He looked like a giant spider made out of rocks. And that was interesting to me as well, because that's the first time that I think I've ever seen a movie where an alien was conceptualized in that type of way.
Yeah.
Because usually you see them and there's some like slimy, weird version of a human meets a reptile, but this was a totally different take on what an alien could be like.
Wasn't your traditional kind of alien.
Yeah, and I thought it was very interesting, and the use of like their language being musical notes, and just a very different take on how things could be, because we don't know.
Could be anything.
It could be anything. And so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I think they did a good job of like making you feel and understand his isolation, but also interleaving it enough with, like the parts from the past and him working with the alien, that it was like the tempo of the movie kept pace. And like there wasn't a point, it was long, but I didn't feel it. Like I feel like with The Martian I felt it because it was long and he was by himself. So that's my opinion, which I'm allowed to have.
No, you're not.
Well, I would say I thought it was really good how the movie was very faithful to the book. So if you haven't read the book, it's basically like reading the book. I mean, they left out very little and they changed very little, if at all. I don't remember if they changed much. But I read this book before the movie came out. I saw The Martian when it came out, and I didn't really know much about Andy Weir at the time. But then I saw that The Martian was based on a book, and my brother told me that he read the book and it was really good. So I read that book, and then I saw that he had written Hail Mary before they had announced that it was going to be a movie. So I started reading that book, and then I saw a trailer for it, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's going to be a movie, so I want to finish this book. So I finished that book, and he has another book called Artemis, which I also read. And all of his books so far have been really good. I think with The Martian, it probably is better if you've read the book, because The Martian is a lot different. The movie is a lot different than the book. There's stuff that they changed around and left out and whatever. This one is really faithful to the book. So it's basically like if you watch the movie, it's like reading the book. And I like that aspect of it.
And I think like for you it was like in a positive way. There's a lot of times I'll read a book and then go see the movie, and the movie can fall short or leave things out that I think would have been really important to have in there. Um, one I'm thinking of just like off the top of my head, it wasn't a movie, it was a show on Hulu, Little Fires Everywhere, that had Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon and Joshua Jackson. The book was phenomenal, and the show fell short for me. And like that's so disappointing when you're like so excited because you read a book and now you're going to see a screen adaptation of it and it doesn't quite meet that expectation. But I think what you're saying is like this one did.
Yeah. I was excited for it and it didn't really let me down. And so much so that I went to go see it again. It was good. And I would go see it again. Like I mean, probably not on my own, but like if somebody was like, "Oh, I really want to see that," I'd go check it out again with them. Like it was good. Mm-hmm. And I think it was good for like all ages, like I feel like the relationship between Grace and Rocky is kind of reminiscent of like an E.T. type movie. I like the way that Andy Weir weaves science into his stories.
Is he a scientist like by trade? Does he have like a degree in that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think he was like an engineer or something to do with science, and he kind of always wanted to write books. And I think the way that he got his start was he had a blog where he wrote these stories, and it kind of caught on, and everybody was like, "Oh, these are really great stories." And so they were like, "You should sell your stories." And so he put it up on Amazon or something for like $1 because he's like, "I don't know, I got to charge something to have it on Amazon," and it just like blew up. And then he was like, "Okay, I guess I can do this now." And he became an author, and then his books got turned into movies, and now it's this whole big thing.
That's so cool. Do you know who Frida McFadden is?
I do. She wrote The Housemaid.
Yes.
And she also wrote some other movies like that. Or not movies, books that were turned into movies.
So she is actually a practicing doctor. And Frida McFadden is like a stage or what do they call that? A pen name.
Okay.
And recently, so she's always gone to all her press things in like a wig and these glasses, and like nobody knew who she was, but she is an actual physician. And like she just writes these books on the side for fun. It's kind of cool.
That's
like
awesome.
and that's not her genre. Like it's not her. Most of her books are not like centered around medical things. She's kind of one of those like thriller kind of writers. That's the kind of book I love to read on an airplane. So I've read a lot of her books. But yeah, so she by trade is a doctor. So I'm sure that there are a lot of famous authors like that, but I think not a lot of them probably get turned into hit movies.
Yeah, I always like reading books that are not based on movies, but like that become, I guess you don't know if it's going to become a movie, but like sometimes you hear about the movie first.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, that's a book. That's cool. I'm going to read the book now." Or you read the book already, it becomes a movie like this way.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to just compare them.
Colin, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I liked the aspect of like there's this one part at like kind of towards the end where he has like so Rocky like gives him fuel to go home, but then like he realizes that like if like I don't remember what it was, but like something went wrong and the fuel like escaped a little bit, and like he realized that like the material of the ship that Rocky's ship was made out of, if the thing leaked on his ship, it would like lose power, and he would just be stranded. So he basically had to like choose to save Rocky or go home. And his logic was like, okay, well, like he wasn't married, he wasn't seeing anyone, and all his friends like have aged probably, and even like he didn't have that much friends to begin with. And like Rocky was really like his only friend, so he was like, well, I don't really have anything waiting for me, so I'm just gonna go save my one friend. So like he didn't get to live a normal life anymore, but he didn't regret his decision.
And I think I'm gonna add to that. I really liked that. Like at one point, Rocky risked his own life to save
Yeah, yeah,
Grace,
that
and so that was kind of his way of like repaying him, and also knowing like only one of us is going to get to go home. Let's let it be Rocky. I don't want him to I don't want both of us to have to die. So I'll sacrifice myself for him. And in that sacrifice, they didn't show this, but then, you think that Ryan Gosling is like done. But then we find out that he ends up back on Rocky's home planet and they've made a home for him there.
And he continues teaching there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he teaches the other aliens, which I guess he's the alien on their planet. But
yeah, I really liked that because I think for a minute, and I'm sure it had a bigger impact in the book, but I certainly thought like, okay, so he's sacrificing himself, like that's where it ends.
I feel like in the book, I'm sure it was on purpose, but they made it so like you didn't really know. Like when you thought when Rocky sacrificed himself and it was like, oh man, he's dead now, and it sort of went on a little longer to where you weren't sure if he was gonna make it or not.
Yeah.
And then the same thing other way around. So, and some of that stuff they probably they cut it for time or whatever. I mean, it's a pretty long movie, as it is, but I liked it though. It didn't seem like it was like crazy long. But longer than your average movie.
No, I think they did a good job, and especially not like dragging that part out, like, and it segued really nicely into the ending. So again, we told you, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah, that was Project Hail Mary, and I think Andy Weir has another movie. Like, is it already recorded or in the works?
I mean, he has another book called Artemis. I don't know if they have anything in development for it or not, but that would be the only one I think that isn't.
And is that also like a space?
Yeah, that one's interesting because it's not the way that like The Martian and Hail Mary were, where it's like an astronaut or something. It's like it's kind of like a murder mystery almost on the moon. It's set where like in the future where people live on the moon or there's a colony on the moon and people also live on Earth. But you can live on the moon or people go to the moon for tourism and stuff. And there's this girl who's like a smuggler where she smuggles stuff from Earth to the moon. And she gets caught up in this plot where she was going to sabotage this business so that this other business can benefit from it, but then it turns out the business she was sabotaging has ties to like the mafia, and they come after her, and that I don't want to give the whole story away, but like it's pretty good. It's a little bit different than his other stories.
Very cool.
So I'd go see it if it was a movie. I really kind of liked what you were saying of the creativity about their communication, where like in the book it was interesting because it was just musical notes. Like you get to hear it in the movie, but in the book it's like you just kind of have to imagine what that's like. And then they also, I don't know if they say this in the movie or not, but like he brought with him on board like a laptop that had the extent of all of the recorded human knowledge. So it had like the whole database of like Wikipedia on it and like YouTube and the whole internet kind of thing. And so when he gave the one to Rocky, it was like Rocky wanted that. It was like, oh, I want to know about how Earth is. And he's like, here, this is everything that we know.
That's cool.
That was pretty neat.
And it seemed like Rocky's species was much smarter than the human race.
Yeah. He has this thing called what is the name of that metal that he makes? Like Rocky can make anything out of this metal.
No, wait, I knew this.
But it's a gas on Earth, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they were like so thrown.
And like the atmosphere for Rocky is like ammonia, and it's like really hot on his ship. And so like he has to make this like series of tunnels so he can come aboard Grace's ship. And it was pretty neat. I always forget the name of that metal that he can make, but
well, it was a great movie. Hopefully, if you've listened to this, you've seen it and you agree. But let us know if you disagree. Is there anyone out there that did not like this movie? I mean, I'm thinking probably not, because just based on the box office alone, I'm thinking people liked it quite a bit. Yeah, so sorry we've been MIA. We're going to try and be around a little bit more. We've still been watching tons and tons of movies with our Regal Unlimited, not sponsored, sponsor if you want, but also just at home and in our spare time.
yeah, if there's anything you would like us to discuss, let us know that too. Chances are we've seen it, or maybe we would watch it if somebody cared to know our opinion on it. You can reach out to us on our socials at Life in Pics Pod on Instagram and Life in Pictures Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. We don't really use YouTube, but we have it, so we might start using it. Yeah. Facebook, I think Facebook and Instagram is where we are most of the time. So yeah, you got something you want us to know about, that's where you can find us.
Give us a like wherever you're listening to this podcast. Share it with your friends. Tell everybody how great or how horrible we are, and to give us a listen.
Anything else anybody wants to add? Got anything else to say, Colin?
Rocky will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Rocky will return. All right. Well, with that, I guess we will end the show. Thank you for hanging out with us again. We hope to see you next time. And until then, enjoy the show.